Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I want to paint a cat today. I want to paint it with just black and white and then glaze some color on it after we get it all done with the black and white paint, get all the values the way we want them. Similar to what we did with, that video, that painting right there, that's actually a metal print. I think I call that one Sunflower. So we're going to do it like that one. The reference photo I found on Pixabay. I'll link it in this video. Oh, sorry about the glare. Link it in this video description. But it's a cat in a sunspot, and I think it's a black and white photo. Isn't that fun? I like that the eye is closed. That's really cute. And you really can see the whiskers, which is fun. I keep trying to move it to see if it's going to get better, and it just gets worse. Okay, let's get started. Hey, my table is set. I painted this black background yesterday and then let it dry overnight. I probably didn't need to wait that long. I think I do in the winter. In the summer, I have so much air moving, things seem to dry out quite quick. This is an 8" by 8" canvas panel from US Art Supply. I ordered them on Amazon. I think they're really inexpensive, and I think overall, they're made a little bit better than the ones from Michael's. The corners are more square, so it fits in a frame a little bit better. And then my Traceable is up on my website, annietroe.com. Isn't that fun? I scribbled on the back with yellow because then I could see it, and then I scribbled with white to make it lighter. I don't know that I needed to scribble with white, but I did. Okay, and then of course you can scale it up or down however you like. And I have given you, I'm kind of telling you like this all fades out to black, and I've given you quite a few details as I typically do on my traceables. I don't know that I always do, because I think it can help you see the shapes, and then painting anything is painting the shapes and the values. So that's why I do it. If you just want to do the outline, I do have another video, I'll link that in this video description, where I just paint a cat outline. Very similar cat. It's my daughter's cat that looks a lot like this cat. Kind of a brownish tabby. Okay, so we're just going to paint it black and white, and then I'm going to come back and I think I'll glaze a little pink over the nose. I'm trying to figure out where to put my traceable. So one of the tricks, so I mixed, I'm jumping ahead. I used Mars Black and Titanium White. You can mix heavy body and not. I also have a big jar of titanium white over by my big easel, and I kind of mixed what I think is a medium gray. I could put out neutral gray 5, and that's pretty close. But to me, I think it looks a little warmer than that. So I just mixed my own gray just to keep it a little tighter. You can do whatever you like. It is not wrong to use this if you want to. And then one little tip I was going to say is you could even start with the light areas if that would help you. So a lot of times I'll paint in the shadows, especially with fur, and then paint fur over it. But we're kind of flipping it, so you could start with a white, or you could just start with a gray and then find, like that is actually the eye that needs to be black. So I could paint a little like that. You could use a bigger brush too. I'm just kind of going slow because I'm not sure what I want, and I don't know if it's going to be the right value. But one thing I almost always do is I find my shapes, or I'll even outline a little bit with paint or whatever you need to do so you don't lose your traceable. See, that kind of comes around into here. And I feel like the eye and the face is the most important thing quite often. Okay, that'll just remind me a little bit. I'm using a number 1 round Simply Simmons. And actually it's kind of white right here. But I think I'll just stick with the gray. Maybe I'll grab just a little white. It's so light that it doesn't even look, I mean, it's just thin in one layer, so it doesn't even look that white. That'll kind of remind me that it changes. Actually, it's kind of white here too. So I gave you that shape, and I gave you this shape. And you can bounce between the reference photo and the traceable. And take your time. There isn't a race. YouTube makes it look like I'm a speedy painter, and I'm not. I don't actually make much money per painting because I don't charge it a lot, and I take my time. To me, it's more important to sell them and to be able to make more paintings, raise some funds, that kind of thing. Okay. I was lifting up, so I'm just going to kind of dab. Okay, I'm going to go back to my gray. Alright, and then that goes pretty black, so I actually need a little more gray, almost to here. So I just talk myself, oh sorry, I just bumped my microphone. I just talk myself through it. If you hear any strange noises, we are getting some windows replaced. So I have my studio door shut. But I'm going to want to open it pretty soon. It's pretty warm in the house. It's 90 something. My watch says 93 degrees. I don't know if you can see that in the corner. It's supposed to be 100 today, and it's super humid. So, and he's only on window 1, so it's gonna get warm in the house. Okay. Well, this actually gets a little darker as it goes this way. That might be too dark on the black. So the other thing that's going to happen, I'm glad they kind of doing this step by step right at the moment. So your background color shows through a little, even if you don't really notice it. I did 2 snowman paintings. One I painted the background gray, and one I left the canvas white and painted the snowman on it, same colors and everything. And when you look at them, you're like, oh, I can see that the one I painted on white is a little warmer than the one where I painted the background gray first and then painted this snowman. But you don't really notice it until you put them side by side. But so the whole point of that is this black is going to show through, which also helps unify your painting a little bit. It can be subtle, but okay. So now I'm still thinking of it and I can still see it. I'm going to grab some black and paint in the eye. Kind of chubby here. Oh, actually it kind of goes down a little. But then it gets skinny, so I might have to come back and skinny it up, which is okay. We'll see. A lighter touch can give me a little skinnier. A smaller liner brush could give me a skinnier line. Oh, see, I just blobbed it. And then it's also okay too to just have some little shakes and lumps and bumps because you're painting it by hand. You want it to look, you don't want it to look like a photograph. You want it to look like your really neat painting. Even though we're copying this photograph pretty closely. Because I think it's a great, so now all you have to do is focus on white, black, and which shade of gray. You don't have to worry about color mixes. Use whatever brush you like. I like the shape of the eye better in the photo. But if I make it too big, it's not going to look right because it has its eyes closed. I think it's got like a little. All right, I'll skinny this up, and then I'm going to do some time lapse. But I thought maybe if I kind of started you off, you could start in the ear. Really, some people think you should start over here so you don't drag your hand through it. But with the chalk, I don't want to drag my hand through that, so sometimes I'll start here on this side and let it dry and work myself that way, because the paint dries pretty quick. Okay, so let's. I'm being a little fussy with this, but. So if you want to flow a little more, add a little water. I roll my brush to kind of get a point. There. See, now I'm kind of wobbly and stuff. That's better. Okay, I'll give you a look. And I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, I thought I'd stop a second and just talk about what's going on. So one thing nice about painting on the black is you get to, like, this could be a completed painting. I could paint it, I'm painting it kind of graphically, meaning I am painting the shapes like I always do, and I'm only putting a little bit of first strokes in there. I am keeping in mind a little bit for direction, but I think it's going to look really good on the video. Here, I'll pick it up too so you can see it a little closer. Isn't that fun? And it's just a good, let's practice values painting. And I'm not getting them just right yet. They're close. It really helped me. Oh, here, I don't know if I start thinking of other things. Okay, here's something I thought about too. There's a few little whiskers up here that I didn't put on the Traceable, but I'm going to put in. And you can put in the ones you like. I'll link the reference photo in this video's description. I did put in some, that's pretty much as wide as I can get there. So I have a reference of to what's a little bit grayer right there too, but I actually could make that a little whiter. And then that's just a shadow shape. Here, let's take a look. How's that doing? Oh, I'm getting glare. It's one thing about the black. You know, I just left the shadow shape there. I painted around the black spots. They're not the greatest, but I can kind of see where they are. And then oh yeah, see if I don't know if I'm taking paint off or I think I'm just taking the chalk off. Yeah. It's kind of fun. The chalk can be a little distracting. Isn't that fun? I think I'm going to smear out some things. I haven't decided exactly what yet. But this painting could go quite quickly, just depending on how much detail you want and how many layers you want. You can leave it, as I've said in other videos, You don't have to go for all the detail and layers. You can leave it like this. Okay, I hope those comments help. Is there anything else I should say? You can, of course, ask me in the comment section, or if you're in my Facebook group, you can ask a question there. Those are probably the two best places to ask questions about a painting. Well, I can't think of anything else, so I'll be back in a bit. Hey, I had a thing happen. Before I talk about that, I put in a little extra gray and then smeared it with my finger. Can you see that? And I smeared one here, here, and here off the ears, just because it's fun. You don't have to do that. I'm not done with the ear. That one's more done. And then I'm taking this, you could take a smaller brush. I'm taking this, it's pretty new, so it works well. A number 1 Simply Simmons. And then with a light touch, you can do it either direction. Actually, if you do here and lift up, you'd have thinner whiskers up here. But I went this way because it was easier for me to pull towards myself. You can do it either way. This one got thick, and so I came back with some black paint, and then I just skinnied it up. Isn't that neat? And then I'm going to come back with maybe a little bit lighter gray on a couple of them. Here, I'm going to show you. This sometimes is what will sell your painting more than doing every little detail in the face, although I like doing it. See how there's like a highlight? So it goes dark to light to dark. That can help sell your whiskers a little bit. Isn't that fun? And I'm putting in most of them. There's a couple more there that I'm not putting in. But I just thought I would stop and tell you that sometimes it's even easier to just skinny up a line. You know, just kind of push the, and that's also a good reason if you buy a black canvas. Should have probably mentioned this in the beginning. I'll note to self, put this in the beginning of the video description notes. Even if you buy a black canvas, paint it black, because then your black will match and it'll work and it makes life easier. Okay guys, I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, what do you think? So this painting went much faster because I have a lot less to paint. I'm letting the shadows be really strong, just like they are in a reference photo, which is one of the reasons why I'm painting it, because you guys can follow the reference photo. It was a little difficult in the beginning, like any painting though, because I had to find the shapes, and not lose my way, which I do sometimes. I came back and added here little brush strokes for interest and a little bit different values, just because I like it. But as I mentioned before, you could have, whoops, that might be too close to focus. You could have stopped. I've got a new phone, so I'm not sure exactly where it focuses. What else? It's really neat when you add the white to just parts of the whiskers. This one dips where there's a shadow. I don't think it does in the reference photo, but I let it dip. What else? I put out quinacridone magenta right there, and some burnt umber right there, and then also some matte medium. Just kind of stirred it a little bit. That's the matte medium. And then I mixed a pinky brown to just highlight a little bit in the ears, a little bit around the face, put a little bit right in there. And then I just put some brown in kind of those areas and just glazed it. That's called glazing. You could do it with water. I kind of like it sometimes. I do both ways. In this case, I kind of wanted the matte medium just to give it more to bind to, since it was a top layer. Sometimes the water gets a little thin and harder. It's a little easier to control for me too. That's another reason. Oh, I put in like little dots just for entertainment. There isn't a dot on the nose in the reference photo. There isn't that mark. I think that kind of follows the reference photo, but it's just a little bit more entertaining. But the whiskers are what really make it. Oh, and then see, I did this with water really, or real thin paint. It's just a really dark gray. And I just took a flat brush. I think that's not quite a 1/2 inch. It's a number 10 Craft Smart. This might be a 1/4 inch. Number 6. These are craft brushes from Michaels. These are the 3 brushes I pretty much used. Number 1, Simply Simmons. Anyway, you could do this with a whole bunch of paintings, and I hope you tried. It can seem scary because it does mess with your brain a little bit if you're used to painting on lighter colors. But you can totally do it. Just piece it out like a puzzle. So what else? I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. I was going to give you a screenshot, but I really can't get it much closer. And it's okay if you go off script a little bit. I did just a little bit here and there. Here, look at my whiskers. They wiggle. Oh yeah, that's blurring, isn't it? I'm going to have to figure out. There's that better? Figure out how this focuses. They wiggle. They're not perfect. Oh, I put a little dot there. Isn't that fun? Some of these don't really connect. They don't always have to connect. I think I have almost all my whiskers connecting though. Is there anything else? Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, I put I don't know if you can see that. I put in a really faint horizontal line just to kind of keep you coming into the painting. This shape stops you nicely. Okay. I hope you try this one. I hope you enjoy it. The Traceable's on my website, annietroe.com. I super appreciate the super thanks and the super chats and people sending money through PayPal. It just makes all this possible. I buy paint and plates and canvas panels. It helped me purchase my new phone so that we can hopefully have a little bit better videos. What else? Oh, I love the comments. I love chatting with you. If you want, you can hang out in the Facebook group. That link's in this video description. You don't have to post paintings if you don't want to. If you don't want to do that, don't worry about doing any of those things. I just really appreciate all those things you guys are doing. Great, big, happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.